Well, I haven't driven the Jeep for over a week. Let's see if she'll start. Oh yeah, gotta keep driving it every now and then. Clean all the crap off the windows. My windshield's shit to bed too. It's got a big crack in it. Getting a little stir crazy in the house, so I'm gonna take a quick run. I gotta run some errands anyways. And I'm gonna take the Jeep out for a good rip to warm it up properly and then park it again for another week because I usually only use it if I'm doing something. Plus it's costs way too much to drive with the fuel mileage. But however, with the low price of gas, it does make it more affordable because the price of fuel is almost half what it was the following year. So I'm gonna go get some lottery tickets for Friday night because it's supposed to be $60 million. Fucking rights. Man, I love having a supercharged Jeep. Having that supercharged wine is so awesome. Climbing hills is effortless now. And my transmission's almost ready to roll over at 300,000 kilometers. Pretty quick. Well, I just got to the mall. Let's see if Dave wants to meet up, do some mall crawling. Yeah, hello Dave. I just got to the mall. There's a few Jeeps here, and I'm gonna go in and grab a Starbucks. I was wondering if you want to meet. There's a few parking curbs here, and it'd be great to test out the articulation of that Jeep you built with the rough country suspension. Okay, so you'll be right down in about 10-15 minutes. Okay, what kind of coffee do you want? So you want a triple mocha with 3 sugar and 3 no fat milk. Okay, I'll see you soon. For those who've asked about that transmission cooler I added on, my transmission still warms up. I've only taken it for a quick drive. As you can see right there, it's probably like 125 or so. Heat and not changing your oil is a transmission killer. If you change your oil and keep your transmission cool, your transmission will last a long time. I mean, this Jeep is proof of that. Alright, well, I'm going to try to smoke this elk roast. What I'm going to do is we're going to thaw it out first, then I'm going to stick it in a bag, soak it in buttermilk for a day, and then take it out and drain it, and then we're going to put the rub and shit on it, and then throw it in our smoker probably for, I don't know, a couple hours or so. We'll see, but the first step is, let's get this thing thawed out first. Yeah, this is what happens when you get up in the morning, just comb your hair back. My beard's coming in pretty good now. Another couple weeks or so, she'll start to fill in. But we're in the garage. We're gonna start rebuilding that Honda GX160 motor. Like I said, let's do a comparison of the 2 engine blocks between the clone and the real thing. So first off, the blocks are pretty much identical. They both got Preston sleeves. Now if you look at the oil gallery in the bottom there, that's a little smaller than what the Honda one is. The non-Honda block has little holes on the side there where the Honda crankcase doesn't. So I don't know if that's a matter of strength or integrity, but I kind of like the idea of having the holes because with the aluminum engine, with it sitting on, mounted on something hard, any kind of moisture or anything that gets underneath there will start to corrode the block. Other than that, everything else seems to be machined pretty much the same. Little slight differences because otherwise it'd be copyright issues. But now that this is taken care of, I got my cheat sheet here, so we're gonna start assembling this block. Yeah, this is where a lathe comes in handy too because my punch tool, I gotta shave like a cunt hair off of it. It's been deformed. Let's try that. Perfect. One thing I hate worse about working in the garage is every time you want to bust the camera out and start filming, the frickin' furnace always has to come on. Fuck, it's a pain in the ass. First time this has ever happened to me, like even on the box, it says piston ring set for Honda GX160, and you know, the oil rings fit on perfectly, but when you look at the difference in the size of the compression rings, there's a huge difference. Look at that. It's like 2 of them are stuck together there. Well, if that doesn't suck fucking balls, I don't know what does. Yeah, nothing sucks worse than working on a project and, you know, parts are the wrong parts, the parts don't fit, and I'm not really sure what the issue is there. I do have another gasket set and piston ring set coming in, so hopefully those come in this next week. So I guess that project's going to be on hold. I guess I'm going to take the frame outside and maybe sand that up, get that done at least, instead of wasting the whole day. Because it's pretty cold out there sanding that frame off, but I got it down to where I want it. It's not perfect, but it doesn't have to be. I'm probably going to put some self-etching primer on it tomorrow or so, and then we're going to spray it with bed liner, I believe. I'll kind of give it a rugged look. At least that part's done. Yeah, so I guess I'll go inside and enjoy the rest of my evening. I guess we'll start on the rock crusher tomorrow. Plug away on that until we can go back on the Honda, go back and forth, and who knows what else I can find in the meantime. So you can see right here, the new rings are almost 1.6 mil. They're actually like 1.5 mil. These factory ones are 1 mil, so that's the issue there. So I could do is put the new ring in the cylinder and measure the gap and see if they are actually in spec still. Yeah, so my piston ring gap, as you can see right there, the maximum is supposed to be 0.4, and I got like a 0.7 mil there. So that's not going to work at all. And the new piston ring gap is 0.03, which is right in spec. Well, today's Sunday morning. I'm just heading out to the grocery store. For some reason, I have this feeling that Dave from Redneck Garage is in church right now with his hand over his heart singing Amazing Grace. That's just what I have in mind. But what I'm going to get up to today while I have to go to the grocery store is we're going to smoke that elk roast today. So there's a few things I need to pick up. The elk roast has been thawed, and then it's been sitting in buttermilk for the last 24 hours. So now we're ready to put the rub on it, and then we're going to cover it with bacon. I got my wood chips soaking in water right now. So the method I'm going to try tonight is that I'm going to have my smoker about 180 degrees. I'm going to smoke it slowly, and I'm going to put the temperature probe in it, and we're going to smoke the meat till it gets about 80 degrees, pull it out, wrap it in foil till it hits about 120, pull it out, unwrap it, stick it back in till it hits about 130, 135, pull it out, and that should be medium rare. So that's what the plan is. Whether or not that happens or not, who knows. And then we're going to go back in the garage and we're going to work on the rock crusher for right now. When I'm waiting for the car to warm up, I do not drive my diesel Jetta until the temperature gauge reaches 80 degrees, and that's it doesn't matter whether it is fall, winter, spring, because diesel engines don't like to be ran when they're cold. So 80 degrees is a good temperature. I feel that it's warm enough to go out for rip. Okay, I'm gonna try this again. Got a little hole up top, hopefully we can make some char cloth. This time I'm not gonna have the propane torch cranked up. Gonna be a little smarter so I don't melt the bottom of that can. I'll see if I can get some made. Problem is it gets so hot so fast, even with the heat turned down. It's going to take a little while, I think, to do it properly. Well, I'm not sure if it worked or not, but I'm going to toss it outside and let it cool off. Plus it stinks in here. Milk. Got the elk in the buttermilk. Got my chicken. Got some bacon up top. Had my wood chips soaking all day in water. We're going to take them out of the water now. We're going to set my racks up. Get the chicken spread out. Get these wood chips out of there. And get ready to start smoking. The remote control's pretty handy. I just pressed the meat probe. And it says my roast is 57 degrees. So still got a ways to go. Oh, we got some smoke starting to happen there now. I pulled it out. The internal temperature said it was 105. But it doesn't even look like it's even that warm. I'll put her in foil, put her back in. The chicken's coming along nicely. Probably another half hour or so and I'll check right now. That meat probe is full of shit. It was saying there's like 170 degrees inside. Yeah, it's hardly even cooked. So we're just gonna throw this back in. I'm probably gonna hit it at another hour. Yeah, look at that. Man, that's fucking delicious. I'm a meat and potatoes kind of guy, and that's the finished product right there. Man, that sure turned out good. It's motherfucking beer time, that's what I'm talking about. That Smoked elk is so good, you have no freaking idea. Okay, today I'm going to continue working on the rack crusher. I'm going to drill a 7/8 hole through there. My shaft is 3/4, so that's the next size drill bit I got. So we're just going to punch that through, and then we're going to mount the bearing. I'm thinking about getting her together, then welding the nuts on the inside. First, let's get this hole drilled. Actually, no, I'm going to mount the bearing first, and then we're going to drill the hole. Get her lined up and even. Yeah, that's the problem with these cheap China-made drill bits. I mean, I got the whole set. There's like 4 big ones for like $10, so you kind of get what you frickin' pay for. If I would have spent the money, got a real 7/8 drill bit, which would have just sliced through that, I probably would have paid like $30 for it. So, anyways, we got the hole drilled. Now we're gonna mount up the bearing. Have our motherfucking parts finished up. Now we can work on the other part. But I was thinking of having the bearing mounted on the inside. Is what I was thinking, or maybe on the outside. I'm not too sure how I'm gonna play that out yet. Why I say that, because I kind of want this on the hinge that I can swing it open and clean it out, because it's going to be crap inside. But if you have to constantly remove the bearing and then remove it off the shaft, but if it's on the inside, it's just a matter of the 4 clamps I'm going to have with the rubber seal around. That way you can loosen the clamps, have the hinges welded on the side here, open up the bearings inside. Might make a little bit more wear and tear for the bearing, but the amount of time it'll save out in the field will work wonders. Now, I think it's motherfucking beer time. Alright, it's motherfucking beer time. Only spent a couple hours in the garage today. Maybe tomorrow I'll get out for a little while longer. I am hoping this next week to head out to the mountains. Tomorrow will be 2 weeks since I had my surgery, and I need to get out of the house. I've been stir crazy, only been able to go out to the store, back again. I gotta get out. I gotta get out, get some fresh air, see some shit, get some things done. This is a question I was asked, and I don't know how many of you people know of Steve Robb or watch Steve Robb's YouTube channel. Steve Robb is probably the only person I know who has watched pretty much every content creator that does automotive videos on a regular basis. And what he started is his own Steve Robb channel. So what Steve does is that he promotes these YouTube creators. He has a show, I think it's like once or twice a week, where he talks about what he saw in videos and what he thought was a really good video and what was cool to check out, which is really interesting because it's nice to see what other people do. And I've also found a lot of new YouTube creators that I normally probably never would have found if it wasn't for Steve Robb. So I thank you for that. But the question he had is, what are my thoughts of women working in the trades? Well, I mean, honestly, that's kind of like a loaded question, because a tradesperson, how should I really put this? There's a lot of tradespeople, but there's very few good tradespeople. And that doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman. But since we're talking about women, there's a few things that I've seen through my experiences. Really haven't worked with any women that I would consider to be bad tradespeople. However, in the trade I find kind of like 2 things. One is that it's harder for a woman to prove herself, because automatically, because she's a woman, a lot of people will look down to her and won't treat her with the respect that you would normally get if you were male. Now, this isn't all the cases, just this is what I have seen. Personally, I don't care as long as you're a good worker, you're willing to learn. It makes no difference to me. So that being said, automatically being a woman, it's going to be harder that way, because you're automatically judged because of your gender. And, you know, a lot of males are fucking pig-headed and think, you know, this woman can't do anything. So I think in that respect, a woman has to work harder. But also, on the same token, I've also seen women get away with a lot of murder working in the trades because they are a woman. They don't get the jobs that are hard. They don't get the jobs that are skilled. They seem to get the easy jobs where the other men will do jobs that are more challenging. Personally, trades should have more women. You know, the whole thing, the stigma of gender, race, culture, all that bullshit has to end. We have to start seeing people as human beings, and until we start seeing people as human beings, those barriers aren't gonna come down. But anyways, it's motherfucking beer time. I hope that answered your question, Steve Rob. If you guys have any questions or comments, post them below. Otherwise, thanks for watching.